Hi, I'm Robert Riggs with Clariti out of Dallas. We're a company that consults and we help our clients listen, think, and speak to their clients. And we also produce television shows in the sports arena. So tell me about Search Engine Journal and your audience. And what do you try to stay ahead of the game? I'm out of CBS originally.
Okay.
So it's all about breaking news, baby.
Yeah.
So what's been the breaking story here?
So here we're at Pubcon right now, and I guess our audience is primarily SEOs, PPC, online marketing professionals. So we try and break news, tell interesting stories, and basically teach the world SEO.
Okay, so yesterday the keynoter from Pubcon was Jason Calacanis, a
Correct.
venture capitalist, and he really lit it up, lit things up. I mean, he like napalmed Google.
Yes, he did.
What's been the reaction in the world of your readers?
So some of the basically, Jason lit up Matt Cutts. So he just, I know some of his sites had been de-indexed and he hated it, but he kind of ripped into Matt Cutts. So some of the readers have basically thought it's more of a fight, and it's like, come on, let's have a good fight between both of them. So I think they wanted that, and Matt Cutts actually got up today and keynoted and responded to that and said, here's some of the things that we're trying to do. We're trying to make user interaction better. We're trying to, for our users, create a better user experience. And instead of fighting, he said, here's why it went down. And he's like, I addressed this, I talked with him personally, and here's the reasons why we did. And they went in, and it's because they had tons of duplicate content, not good content on their site.
He did raise an issue, though, and as to whether or not you can trust Google.
Yeah.
Are they a partner you can trust, or are they taking your data and basically scalping your business and doing their own versions of the business? So, outranking Yelp with their own version of Yelp, these kind of things. Do you see that as something they are doing and, in effect, sort of taking over the world?
To a certain extent, yes. I do. I see them taking over a lot. For example, in the past year and a half, the hotel space, they've changed it. Now when you search for a hotel, it brings up their hotel and buy the hotel on us, and they're getting their cut. They're eliminating the Travelocities, the Hotels.com, all those different companies. I see them doing it in other industries too. Can they do that though? They kind of own the data behind it. They own the searches. They direct it. So is it them controlling it, or is it them saying, this is our company, we should have been doing this all along?
So what is a search marketer to do when they're out there working for the other travel websites?
Beat Google. I think you just have to be on the cutting edge. I think you have to optimize for what Google is not doing.
But can you be in Google and on Google and still beat Google at their own game when they own all the data?
I think Google will only attack certain verticals that make them so much money and are the big. I don't think they're going to go after smaller niche. They're not going to go work with these different sites. They're just going to say this search gets this. They're not going to say all these affiliate sites or all these banners or all that. So I think that's a definite niche where the hotels can go after in that circumstance.
So we're into day 2 of Pubcon. Do you see any next big thing? Is there something that has been the wow factor for you here?
Some of the wow factor, I guess in the past year, one of the wow factors for me has been Pinterest. I do a lot on Pinterest. It drives a lot of traffic. I have some sites in the organization niche, and women love it. And I mean, it drives thousands of people to my site every single day. And I think that's something that a lot of sites aren't taking advantage of versus other sites. And sure, you can optimize, you can do this. Google's coming out with amazing technologies.
Yes.
There's a lot out there, but I really like Pinterest. So.
Well, I've just had my first jump into the Pinterest bucket, and it's for an unusual thing. We've got a client that is a collector of classic cars, he owns what was called Jackie Kennedy's bubble top Lincoln limousine from the Kennedy era. Okay. Very, very rare car.
Yeah.
It was the his and hers version of the Lincoln limousine that the president was assassinated in.
Wow.
So we're using Pinterest about the car and about Jackie Kennedy and the assassination. And I am amazed at the driver of traffic and what happens on this and how it's coming to the site.
Wow, that's awesome. I mean, just speaking along those, I mean, you could get tons of interaction. You could go off on all the different cars, what's happening here, what's working, and really get some good interaction.
Yeah, so what we have found is that, this is the 61, 62, early 60 models that was a radical redesign and award-winning, and it's got the suicide doors and the slab side and all. Very pop culture car these days. And so now what we're seeing is that people want more about other Lincolns of that vintage. And so we're doing those posts.
You're giving them what they want.
Yeah.
So I think that's the key to any business, is giving your readers and the users what they want, and really placing it in the places where they're looking. So,
well, in giving them what they want is video, text, photographs. But the buzzword here, and Brett Tabke talked about this, is that hundreds of his proposals for speakers was content.
Yep.
So talk about the importance of it.
Oh, content. I mean, you listen to any SEO person out there, and they're just going to be like content until you can't, stand it anymore. So content is key, but I think more than just putting out content, it's content that your readers are really looking for. It's content that they want, not that you're just like, okay. So, for example, I talked with Dwayne Forrester. He leads content spam at Bing. He's the equivalent of Matt Cutts at Google. He said, instead of gumming up and looking at content, so say you own a pet store. Instead of saying, I want to buy a puppy, I want to buy a puppy, I want to buy a puppy all over the internet, go, what does that person truly want? When you're buying a puppy, you want, what kind of shots does that puppy have? What kind of dog food does that puppy like? What type of little clothes are you going to dress them up with if you're into those types of clothes situations? Or what kind of everything to deal with that puppy? Instead of I want to buy a puppy, it's everything that encompasses that. Build content around that. Take photos, Pinterest that, Instagram that, Facebook that, all that content around that.
Okay.
So.
Thank you very much. I'm Robert Riggs, and I've appreciated the opportunity to be on this side of the microphone again, rather than television, and talk to you. And I'll certainly be reading and watching Search Engine Journal. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.